Welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and as you can tell from the countdown clock, the lesson is about to get started. In case you're new with us, there's a few things I'd like to show you to help you throughout the lesson. Today we're writing songs. Everybody, I'm writing songs, you're writing songs, everybody's writing their own songs, and this is truly for all levels. So anyone can write a great song. You are going to write a great song. Depending on your skill level, you may not be able to play the song at the end of the lesson that you've written, but at least you'll have something you could pass off to one of your musician friends and have them play the song for you that you wrote. So that's the goal today, is to write a song and understand how they're put together. You'll hear lots of talk about chords and about keys, so it helps if you have some knowledge about that. But there are really three parts: the chords, the melody, and the lyrics, and you can just do one of those parts. You don't have to do all three of them. And I should also throw in here, there's many ways to write a song. So this is not the right way to do it. This is just a way that I think is easy to get started on and for me to show you how to do on your own. These lessons are always guided and shaped by your questions, and if you're live with us today, there's a couple different ways you can do that. One is in the public live chat, and the other is the Ask Jamin a Question button, where you can ask me a question privately, and I won't share your identity in case you're afraid that your question is stupid. But it's not. If you're in the archives, though, then just open up the survey. At the end of that, there's a place where you can ask your question. I will say I frequently get questions from students in the archives watching a lesson from 6 months ago, and I have no idea what they're talking about. So please try to be as specific as possible. If you're watching this at LearnPianoLive.com, there should be a PDF and an MP3 button right next to this video. The PDF will often have additional video links inside, so you can get more in-depth instruction on each of the topics. And if you're the kind of person who likes to print out the PDF so you can make the same notes on your physical version as I'm making during the lesson, now would be the time to do that. The MP3 is just a play-along track so you can practice more after the lesson. In traditional lessons, a teacher is going to actually present some new concept for maybe 5 or 10 minutes every couple weeks. The rest of the time is going to be spent applying and refining those concepts. Well, here I'm spouting off hours of new information every week, so it's totally unreasonable to expect you to actually absorb all of that. Instead, the goal of these live lessons is for you to find some little nugget of something that makes sense, but is a bit of a challenge, and for you to go practice it, because practice is where all the improvement's going to happen. So don't feel bad if you have to leave the live lesson when you find that little thing that you're going to practice. And of course, if I'm going too fast, you can always rewind the live lessons or replay in the archives as much as you want. If these live lessons start feeling random or meandering, it's because they are, on purpose. So if you're the kind of person who wants classical training with a step-by-step method, then you're going to want to check out Kloppel Academy on the website. It's included in your live lesson subscription, so you can do both or either. And the upper levels are seriously hard work, but it's going to take you all the way from ground zero all the way up to being ready to enter any major music college as a piano major in classical or jazz. And thankfully, I think that's about all we need to cover before the lesson. So if you'd stick around afterwards and fill out the survey, I would love your feedback. But for now, let's have some fun and make some music. Welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and this is our moderator, the incomparable Kendra.
Guess what? I got to go to Las Vegas earlier this week.
That is true. And how was it?
It was great.
I heard only about the M&M factory, and
Yes.
then I was like, what else? And you're like, you'll have to wait to the lesson to find out, because I'm going to tell everybody then. So tell us about Las Vegas.
Well, we stayed for 4 days, and I got to see my cousins that live a few hours away.
Okay.
And yeah, it was really cool. We went to this restaurant my cousin wanted to go to called Gordon Ramsay something.
Yes.
I had never heard of the guy. I guess he's like a really famous cook, and it was really,
He's famous for getting angry at people when they cook stuff that he doesn't like. So that's kind of his
Great.
gig. Yeah. But cool.
But
he also
yeah.
seems like he's a really great cook, so.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Alrighty.
Yeah.
So then, today we're supposed to be writing a song. We've been playing this Somewhere Over the Rainbow thing for a long, long time now. It's time to get into some Christmas music. hopefully starting next week. But let's spend one more week doing this thing. We're going to pull it apart and see if we can just rip out the most essential key components of the song, leave those in place, and then write another song around it so that it kind of has the aura of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Quickly, let's go through all of these chords and stuff. This is supposed to be a beginner lesson, but it is based on all of the lessons that we've been doing over the last, I think, 2 or 3 months that we've been working on this thing. So if this seems like it's about 2 or 3 months advanced, then that's appropriate. So first thing is an A flat chord. Over the rainbow. We got a D flat and then A flat. And then we have D flat, A flat, F minor, B flat minor, E flat, and then A flat. And then we talked about how this is in really just 2 sections. There's an A section, there's a B section, but the pattern is that we go an A section, then another A section, so it repeats itself, then it goes to a B section, something entirely different, and then it comes back and plays that A section again. So that beginning 8 bars there, these guys right here, are going to get played 3 times. So when we go to write our song, we're just going to write in, because we're doing it in the style of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, that's one of the key components we want to leave in there is the AABA format of the song. So we're going to play something for that first section, and then we don't even have to write anything in here or in here. All we really have to do is the A section and the B section. Now, the key is the key of A flat, which we've already talked about before, which means that we have these 7 chords. The 1 chord is going to be A flat. The 2 is going to be a B flat minor. I will show you how to play these in just a second, but we won't talk about why they are these chords since we've already dealt with that in other lessons. The 3 chord, the 4 chord, the 5 chord, the 6 chord, and the almost never used 7 chord, which is a G half diminished, except for last week we used half diminished chords like crazy because we were doing the reharm on this thing. Okay, so the time signature on this is going to be 4/4. That just means when we're playing it, there's the feeling of 4 pulses before another main pulse comes up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So we're in 4/4 time. That just means that we want to not do what we did in the jam session last week when we took a 4/4 song and then we only put 3 pulses in it. When we did, instead of jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock, we did jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. So that was 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That'd be an example of a 3/4 instead of a 4/4. Somewhere Over the Rainbow as a 3/4. 1. So then that would be a waltz right there, and we don't want that feeling. Otherwise, we lose some of the important Somewhere Over the Rainbow-ness of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So we're going to leave the time signature alone, which is 4/4. The tempo was at about 90, so we're going to leave it about there. It's moderately slow. The feel of it is straight, so it's not 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and where everything is just nice and even instead of swung like we sometimes do often in jazz. In fact, the whole genre swing is all swung, which has to do with the eighth notes just being in little chunks of 2. Ba da 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 instead of evenly spread out. Da 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 da. Okay, cool. Then we have section sizes. Each of these sections is 8 bars. So we've got the A section is 8 bars. Then, of course, the next A section, it's the same thing. So that's also 8 bars. The B section is 8 bars. When I say bars, I just mean measures. And when I say measures, I mean sets of 4 counts, just like we were counting a second ago. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Each one of those chunks of 4 is a bar or a measure. And we use these lines right here to mark off our measures. That is 1 measure. This right here is 1 measure. So you can see here we've got in this line 4 measures in that line, and then 4 measures or 4 bars in this line, and then it's a grand total of 8 bars for the B section. So the B section, the A section are both 8 bars long. We want to keep all those section sizes the same, and then we want to pay attention to the first chord and any non-diatonic chords. Let's do the first chord first, because that's, I think, something we all understand. The first chord is the first chord. We want to leave an A flat right there. Cool. We probably also want to leave the last chord as an A flat. And then down here in the B section, we're going to start out on that A flat again right there. And then this cleans up here with an E flat. We'll leave that last chord. So the first and last chords will leave the same. So in my mind, we are deleting everything else and just leaving the A flats and then that one E flat. So down here, where all of the chords are taken out, that means that we care very much about this A flat right here. Again, we're not going to do the second A section. Down here, we want an A flat as well. And then we want this to be an E flat with nothing here, just that E flat all the way through. We're also going to end on an A flat right here. And these are the key components that we want to keep in place. We've kept the time signature, the tempo, the feel, the section sizes, and we kept the same first chord and last chord of each of the sections. Now, for this funky little bit right here, non-diatonic chords. That means any chords that are not one of these 7 that we promised would be in the key of A flat. For example, our 2 chord right here is supposed to be a B flat minor. That's that bad boy right there. And if we go down here, we find that we have a B flat major right there. So that is a major 2 chord. It's not in the key of A flat. It goes outside of the key just for a second there, which is what makes that section sound so peculiar, so cool, so uplifting, so different, so noticeable when we go, troubles melt like lemon drops way above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. So that part right there. You probably noticed that before when you were listening to it, like, oh, that's a really cool twist. That song sounds really, really unique right there. That's because it's really unique because they broke the rules of the key of A flat. Key of A flat's supposed to be that right there, and they played that note right in there when they played the B flat chord. So they broke the rules right there. They played a non-diatonic chord or a non-staying in the key chord, a B flat major. So we also want to steal that, because that's going to be obviously a kind of a signature move right there from that B flat to that E flat. And the rest of it is all changeable stuff. Now, usually at this point, I ask Kendra, hey, Kendra, what chords do you think? But Kendra's getting really good at this stuff. So now you all don't believe her almost as much as you don't believe me when I say that these things are random. So I'm going to the page, there we go, learnpianolive.com/songwriting. And this is just the workshop that we did, but I'm going down to the intermediate chord picker so that we can pick a different random chord. This one says we're going to play the 5 chord. So in our case, the 5 chord right here is an E flat. So that's the second chord we're going to have is an E flat. After that, we're going to have a 6 chord, which is an F minor. We'll be done with this here in just a minute. Next, we're going to pick a 4 chord. The 4 chord in the key of A flat is D flat. And then the next one's going to be a 5 chord, which is, again, back to our E flat. We're almost done here. We want a 1 chord. Yeah, really? I don't like that at all. Okay. And then... please be a 5. Please be a 5. Ah, you had to be a 6. Okay, whatever. We're going with the random chords.
You know, you should have asked me to do it.
To be the random chord picker?
Yes.
But people but she already knows what it's going to sound like because you gave yourself away in several of these lessons. You're like, oh, let's pick oh, no, that won't sound right. People like, she knows. This isn't random. She's cheating just like Jamin is.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We have a couple more chords to add in here in the B section. So that's all of the A section. I'll go ahead and play that for you. This would not sound right with the melody of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, but as you can tell, we've left all the key components in place. So if we played these chords with Somewhere Over the Rainbow, it's going to sound horrible. That's fine. We're going to change the melody all around later on. But just so you can kind of hear where it would be in the song, I'm going to play these chords with the melody of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. that's what we have so far. And then the B section is going to be, I know it sounds horrible. Just hold on. It's supposed to. Everything is still fine. The 3 chord, really? Okay, so we're gonna go C minor. Picked it, all right? So then this is our B section. Again, the melody, the old melody with the new chords. And it sounded great at the end because those were the parts that we kept the same. So all the parts that we changed sounded a little bit funky, but those are our new chords. Once again, the parts we've kept in place are the time signature, the key signature, the tempo, the feel, the section sizes, the first chord and the last chord, and any non-diatonic chords, any chords that go outside of the key. So if I just played for you, if you hadn't heard this before, didn't know that we were doing Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and I had these chords and played the chords for you and said, what song does this sound like? You probably would not guess, oh yeah, that's Somewhere Over the Rainbow. But knowing that Somewhere Over the Rainbow, you can probably, oh yeah, okay, I can kind of hear how those two things are together. So again, we've left all the key components in place. We've ripped out the guts of it, replaced it with a bunch of other random stuff from a random chord selector, just staying inside of the key. And I think we've got a nice little structure here for a melody that we could build on top of this. But that will be in the intermediate level. For right now, we're going to go ahead and do our feature of the day, which in this case, there we go, is an album called Root Down by Jimmy Smith. If you listen to Root Down and you don't love it, that's because you might not have a soul, which is, I guess, the way everybody feels about all of their favorite albums. So that means nothing at all. But hey, this is my lesson, and I get to say who has a soul and who doesn't in this lesson. So Jimmy Smith, Root Down. A lot of you guys asked for my recommendations or what I listen to, and that is definitely on the playlist. So go check that out. It's a pretty influential organ album, and once again, a nice test to see whether you have a soul or not. Let's go to the intermediate version. So sadly, the lesson preview has come to an end, and it's time to say goodbye to everyone watching the free streams. Of course, paying subscribers at learnpianolive.com can continue watching this lesson and several hundred others like it in the archives. So come on over and check us out. And if you like what you saw, at least like and subscribe, and then tell your friends to head on over to learnpianolive.com to start enjoying this journey with us.